How are we going, everyone? I'm pulling out my big Malaga tomatoes, and as you know, these have been in there a couple of weeks, at least 3 or 4 weeks, and they haven't moved, and I'm really not happy about that. I didn't plant these in my little jiffy pots, these ones here, as you know, that I do normally. I tried them out straight in the cell tray, and look, in the past it's worked, but for some reason these aren't happening. I think the soil's a bit stagnant, meaning it's not draining well. There's a bit of weight in it. There's no moisture coming through, see that? I think, look, I don't know at the moment until we inspect, so this is what I've got to do. I'm going to use my little dibbler and lift them up and see if I've got any roots here. Because if they're really fine, have a look. Yeah, they're really fine roots at the moment. Soil's really nice and warm. They're just not growing. They're not happy. So I'm going to change the soil. Don't know what's wrong with the soil. Not even worth trying to work it out. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to discard it. I'm going to transplant these straight into my little jiffy pots. I've got a fresh batch of seed raising mix here. I've got nothing in it. I don't want any fertilizer because the roots are so delicate. I might have to do it like this. They're so delicate that they're going to struggle if you put anything rich in it. Look at that. Tiny little roots there. They just haven't progressed. I need these to really grow out more. Now, I'm going to bury these down to about there, approximately, give or take, so I can try and establish more roots a bit further up along the stem. And you can do that with your tomatoes as they grow bigger, but because these haven't put on any new growth on here, look at that. The leaf is the wrong colour. It's gone, it's almost bleached. It's not happy. The soil's not right there. I've used my liquid gold once or twice. Not enough, I don't reckon, but anyway, we're going to change the soil and give it a go. But we're also, not today that is, but tomorrow or the next day I'm going to plant some more seeds of big Malagas. So I'm going to spread out the planting so I can get a variety of them growing and see if the next batch is any better. They look like they've been frostbitten, even though they're in a little hothouse, or they're bleached, maybe just, you know, it is, it's stagnant. There's too much moisture there. It's not draining well. It dries on top, but it's not draining underneath well. And they're not breathing, so they're not getting enough airflow. That's how important these little jiffy pots are. It's not always the case that happens to these sort of plants like that, or any plant that it becomes stagnant. It's just happened to me this time, and like I said to you before, I'm going to show you the bumps and bruises of everything we do in the garden. We don't always get it right. We've done this a million times like that. Look at that, just as I look down now, that's putting on some new growth, and it's darker leaf already too. So that looks like it's handling the soil, but again, I'm not going to wait for these to go backwards anymore. Even though that's growing, I'm not going to leave it there. Even this one over here. Come over here, there's a second one. There's some growth coming on there. Look, it is being cold, but as far as sowing your tomatoes, yes, it is early, or we sowed them early because we want to get an early start on spring. This year, we didn't succeed with the early crop, and I know a lot of you who've followed me at the same time have got a better crop or better seedling than I have. Look at this poor little soul here. I'm going to try and bring it back to life. Look, it's still alive. It's just not happy where it's been growing now. As far as sowing your tomatoes early, if you go to your local garden centres and support them, especially during lockdown, folks, it is tough times out there for everybody, every small business. And look, go to your local business. No matter what you need, find your local business first. Support them before you go to the big chain stores. Now, if you do go to your local garden centre or go online and order your tomatoes, you're going to find them there already at the garden centres available. We don't sell tomatoes, we sell seeds. And because they've got them already, that means they grew them earlier. So just as we sowed them a month ago, they've done it too, if not earlier, hence why they've got them on the shelves. Now, how they bring them on, different ball game to what we do here, commercial growers. But what we're going to do now is transplant all these into the peat pots, as we got here, and give them a light feed with liquid gold. No EK Butch, just liquid gold, and then put them back in the hothouse, and hopefully they settle down. Look, they will settle down. I've just been watching these go backwards, waiting for them to come good. I noticed it about a week ago, and they haven't improved. And I just gave them a little bit more time, but they haven't. So we're just going to get on with it now. Now let's have a look at some of these, because this one here, again, ever so delicately, take the soil off. There we are. So we have got roots. Look, they're really small. They just haven't bothered to grow. A little bit of soil at the bottom. Drop this in carefully. Now we're going to sprinkle soil around it and bury it a bit deeper. Now I'm not pressing it down because I don't want to damage those little delicate roots there, folks. I just want it to settle down on its own. Let's have a look at this one here to see if it's put on any new growth in the roots, because normally the roots would grow first before you get growth above. Yeah, look at that, see? See, we have got roots growing here. I'm going to be delicate with this. Probably destroyed more of them. Yeah, they're better roots. Not much bigger, but better than the ones we pulled up already. Okay, let's just get on with it. Let's transplant these all and get them back inside before they freeze over. All right, we've done it. Now we're going to give them a light feed. I've got 2 extras here because we had a couple of extra germinate. Now I've got my liquid gold already done, so give them a light soak. Oh, be a bit more gentle than that, Vasily. See the soil, how it sinks down? That's why I didn't press it, because it's going to sink with the water like that. And that's all you need to do. Hydrate them all. Now we're going to monitor these for, well, every day that is, make sure they are settling down into their new home. And see, with the peat pot, they're going to breathe better. They've got all that airflow coming through as opposed to the plastic pot that I first sowed them in. If you sow, and this is the trial that I did, and obviously the 32 cell tray for sowing seeds, folks, is great, but you should use the peat pot as I have these here now. Drop them into the 32 cell tray and sow your seeds into these. So that way they've got a buffer there, air pocket, between the plastic and the soil for it to breathe and dry out. Or otherwise sow them in the 72 directly, like I have here. I'm going to pull this out for you. See, they dry out so much quicker. Here's the basil. See, it's already growing, the basil. It's already germinating everywhere. And these are little malacas and capsicum seeds here as well. So the 32 cell tray dries really well, and that is easier to be able to sow directly into it. Whereas the larger ones, you're best to use the peat pots, as I've done now, which I should have done at the beginning. But anyway, that was the trial. Now we're going to put these back inside, and we're going to come back and monitor them. Now, the last thing I need to say is this. Hey, Marianthe. You got to stop growing vegetables. Since I was doing it for years, I've been doing it. It's been great. Since you started, I've lost my mojo here. You're taking my thunder. No, all seriousness, congratulations to everybody out there who's been able to sow their tomato seeds and get them to grow big, strong and healthy. Just like Marianthe's. Get onto our Facebook group, the Big Malacca Tomato Competition group, if you want to be a part of the competition, because we've got a couple of prizes to give away to the biggest tomato and the heaviest tomato in summertime, that is. But join along, because it's not just about tomatoes. People are sharing all great topics about gardening, and you're learning so much from each other. And I'll be trying to join in as much and as often as possible as well, to be able to give my 2 bobs worth of advice and learn something from you as well. In the meantime, we're going to put these back in here, put the lid back on top of them, keep them nice and warm. Let's see what it's set at, 24 degrees. I might just drop it down to 21, like that. And let's see, because it's currently at 23 degrees, I water these ones. Let's not forget these little babies, because they're sitting on the giant heat mat. Now, folks, with the lockdown, we know it's difficult times, so we're running specials again, and we keep dropping our prices lower and lower every day. We've practically got them at cost price. We want you to be able to enjoy your gardening and not feel like you have to spend the world of money to be able to do something fruitful and bountiful from your garden as well. So check out our website, vasilisgarden.com. We've got up to 65% off everything online, and our black green, we've knocked it down to 70% off the retail price. That's ridiculously low, folks. Take advantage of it while you can. And seeds, we got the 27-pack ultimate seed deal. You get almost every variety of seed you can possibly want to grow this springtime. It's all on vasilisgarden.com. From me, Vasily Maresi.